On today's episode of No Backbone, No Problem, we take a deeper dive into one of the lesser-known invertebrates of our planet, taking a glance into their life and what makes them so unique. Containing over 150 different species, these are Kinorhyncha.
Now I know what you're thinking. What in the world is a Kinorhyncha and why have I never seen one? Well, part of the reason is that they're very hard to see as they're very small, about 1 millimeter long.
These fascinating little invertebrates, divided into the two orders of Cyclorhynchida and Homolorhynchida, live in marine, mud, and sand, and spend their lives there. To clarify, the Kinorhyncha lives in the mud. The mud is in the water. The Kinorhyncha is in the water, in the mud, in the water. Got it? So what do Kinorhyncha look like? Think of it like this. Have you ever stacked Oreos up on top of each other? Well, they kind of look like this if it was only 1 millimeter long. The basic shape of the Kinorhyncha is a long cylinder trunk divided up into 11 segments. That would be each of the Oreos. Along with the segments, there's also a head region, which houses the creature's mouth and crown of spines. Think of this like the leafy part on top of a carrot, except the leaves are spiky. Below the head, there's also a neck region. Surrounding these segments, Kinorhyncha have a hydrostatic skeleton with a hydrophobic cuticle protective covering that makes them waterproof. On the last 4 segments, the Kinorhyncha all have spines jutting out from the sides to aid in locomotion. Kinorhyncha have a peristaltic form of locomotion. They move by extending the head forward and contracting the muscles in the body to move it forward. One of our scientists will now demonstrate.
Kinorhyncha develop into 2 different sexes, so they are gender specific. They reproduce sexually as the male fertilizes the eggs in the female, and then the females release eggs onto sand grains. It takes around 10 days for the baby Kinorhyncha to break through the egg sac and begin their lives. As the young Kinorhyncha develop into adults, they shed their outer cuticles about 5 or 6 times. However, the lifespan has not been fully researched, so it is currently unknown how long they live for. They could live months or they could live years. Who knows? They could be as old as the queen. Just like you and me, the Kinorhynchas need to eat. They don't like pizza or Oreos, they eat diatoms, a type of microalgae. They are able to eat through their mouths that are located in the heads. Since they have a digestive system with 2 openings, the food will enter through their mouths and exit through the anus.
And now to our good friend Dr. Doctor to tell us more.
So, Doctor, why is it so important for our viewers to care about Kinorhyncha?
Well, we should care about Kinorhyncha as they're an important part of the marine food chain. Being primary consumers, they get eaten by other larger organisms like shrimp or snails to get energy, which humans then consume to get energy themselves.
Wow, I love shrimp. It's so cool that these tiny creatures can have such an impact on us humans. But wait, if Kinorhyncha impact us, do we impact Kinorhyncha?
Now that's a bit of an exaggeration, but we do have an impact on them as we impact their environment through pollution, which can either outright kill them or lead to metabolic failure or damage.
It's sad to hear that our actions are hurting these little guys, especially since we've grown to know them so well. It's almost like they're a part of our family. But wait, who else is part of the Kinorhyncha's family? Who are they related to?
Well, as you can see here from the phylogenetic tree we created from our data matrix based on internal and external anatomy, Kinorhyncha share a common ancestor with arthropods, mollusca, and chordata. And here in our phylogenetic tree created from the 16S rRNA sequencing, we can see that Kinorhyncha share a common ancestor with arthropods and echinoderms. Finally, as you can see here in this phylogenetic tree created by Dr. Schwarzen, using morphology, the Kinorhyncha share a common ancestor with pinofins, so they have a pretty big family depending on how you look at it.
So now we know all there is to know about Kinorhyncha. So remember, the next time you eat a shrimp, a Kinorhyncha died for that. Join us next week. We're talking about porifera. Are they really alive? Find out next week on No Backbone, No Problem.